Yes, sir. It's your boy D.HOP. Moments with D.HOP featuring my guy Matrixx. Of course, we on location as you see. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get into his business like we usually do. He's an author, entrepreneur, barber. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna sit down with him and pick his brain. You know. But that's gonna happen after I get fresh, of course.
All right.
We'll be right back. Yo, what's going on, baby? And just like that, we back and I'm fresh. D.HOP Moments. Thanks to my man J.L. Smith, aka The Matrixx.
You already know.
We here, man, on location, man. We gonna get into it, but before we do, I can't come to the crib. You know what I'm saying? You can't come to somebody's crib without bringing something nice. You know what I'm saying? Present, being gifts. You know what I'm saying? So I brought out that good Henny XO for my guy. You know what I'm saying? We gonna sit down. We gonna drink. We gonna chop it up, man. We'll be right back. So yes, sir, I am back. D.HOP Moments with D.HOP featuring my guy J.L. Smith,
What's good?
Mr. Matrixx.
All right.
We appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, letting me pull up and kick it with you, get some information, some moments, and then share it with the people.
That's what's
You
up.
know what I'm saying? So, without further ado, let's get into your business. I introduce you by name, but let the people know who you are and where you from while I open this thing up right here.
All right. Well, I go by many names. I go by J.L. Smith. That's my pen, my author name. Many people in the hood, childhood friends, they know me as Tiny. To the bike world, I'm a biker boy. I'm known as Matrixx. So, it is what it is. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I've been a barber for almost all my life. Then I transitioned into becoming an author after one away. I found my hidden talent. And, I'm just doing what I could do now. Just filming, writing, getting where I fit in.
No doubt. Here you go. Bro, nah, I ain't gonna pour it.
You ain't gonna pour my problems?
Nah, I ain't. You gotta do that, y'all. You gotta get your own, my bro.
I'm about to take it to the head, the problems I got. The cup, they ain't gonna do it.
We here for it, though. That's what we here
That's
for.
what I'm talking about, bro.
We here for it. Throw that damn here.
Yeah.
So, you spoke about coming up, finding your talent and all that.
Yeah.
Let the people know at what era did you find your talent? Where were you at when you found your talent? And we're going to get into how you got there and all that.
Okay. Well, the talent came after I got messed around, and I did a little jail time. So I went away for 4 years. The judge was talking. They actually sentenced me to 10 years. Out of 10 years, I had to do 4. So by the time I sat down and I realized, like, this is my new home. I ain't going nowhere. I was like, I gotta lock in and do something because when I get out of here, I still have a life to live. And while I was in there, I started reading a lot of books. Donald Goins. I read his whole collection, and there's another one. I forgot the authors or whatever, but it's a guy and a girl, and they the authors of The Cartel.
Okay, I'm familiar with
So it's Ashley and Jaquan. Like, don't quote me on it, but it's The Cartel. So I started reading that. After reading that, I was like, well, damn. I'm like, this sounds like some stuff that I've been doing, and I lived some of this. I'm like, well, I could do this, and I started writing actually a movie script because I was familiar with doing that. And some of the brothers in there, you know how they get this. Yo, what you got? Yo, I need something to read. Yo,
right.
I need something. What you writing? What you writing? I was like, yo, chill. Like, this ain't a book. It's like a little movie script. Yo, let me read that. I just want to read something. So I gave it to the brothers, and they was like, yo, that should be a book. And that turned into the very beginning of me writing The Family Loyalty is Everything. And it was born behind bars.
No doubt.
When I came out, I pursued it. Like, that was my dream. Like.
So let's take it back. Let's rewind a little bit to the prequel, if you will. Right? That's what they know. So let the people know. I know you personally,
Right.
But let the people know where you from. Your demographics and all that.
Okay. Well, I was born in Harlem, and I grew up for the most part. Okay, when I was like 2 years old, We was on 112th Street between 7th and 8th. After that, my mother moved me to Queens.
Okay.
So for my childhood, I came up in Corona, Queens, Corona and Fletcher, until the age of 12. Then I moved back to Harlem. When I moved back to Harlem, I stayed with my aunt for about 6 months, maybe a year, and we moved up to 64th Street, 164th in Amsterdam, up in Sugar Hill, and I was there that was it. That started my life. And
what was
from
that?
then on, it was Sugar Hill's finest.
No doubt, no doubt. So what was that like coming up in Washington Heights, Sugar Hill, Harlem, in that era?
Well, it was crazy for me because first of all, I had to transition coming from Queens. So coming from Queens, I was a b-boy. You know what I'm saying? So I went to school. I thought I was fresh. I had the ponies with the leaves.
Said the ponies.
Yeah, I was fly. You know what I'm saying? But I'm in Harlem now.
Right.
My first day, they snatched my lead patch. They was clowning me on my brand new ponies, you know. And so my mother had to take me shopping again, and I had to get that Harlem swag, whatever, you know. And it came later on in life because you know my parents didn't have it like that,
right?
You know, but it was just rough. But the thing was, I went to school in Harlem, but I lived in Sugar Hill, so it was like I didn't really make friends there first. So all my friends and people was in Harlem. So then I became an official Harlem dude. I learned Harlem ways. Then I came up top and, you know, I started getting to this and that. And,
right.
You know, the birth of a barber had began, you know.
You want to talk about that? We gonna skip around a little bit.
Yeah.
So, how did you get into barbering? Was it parental? Was it like you just picked it up to somebody? You know,
how
did that come about?
It's actually because of my little brother. So my brother one day he goes to the barber shop. At that time I had a best friend. He was cutting hair. He was a barber. So you know the whole neighborhood used to go see him. So my brother went to the barber shop and my mother was like, you know, your brother ain't back yet. He's been gone for some while. I'm like, well, where he went? She was like, to the barber shop. I said, oh, he be all right. So she was like, no, but it's been like 4 hours. I was like, what? So I said, let me go see what's going on.
Half the day.
Right, so I'm on my way there, my brother on his way back. And I was like, yo, what happened? Why didn't you get a haircut? He was like, yo, they never
he
called
still
me.
didn't get a haircut?
He never got a haircut.
Wow, it's crazy.
He said they never called me. He didn't know you had to take a ticket.
Old school.
It was going by tickets then.
Old school.
Right, so he didn't take a ticket, so he's sitting there the whole time, never got a haircut. So he told my mother, I'm going to take this $10 and I'm going to go buy some clippers. So he had the clippers from Woolworth this week on back. So now, I said, you know what? He started like, I'm gonna cut it myself. I was like, you can't cut your own hair. Let me do it. So I put him in the middle of the living floor. I'm like, I see my man do this. Boom, I'm chopping him up. I tore him up. I heard him. I heard him real bad. So then we take him. I took him back to the barbershop. Told my boy, I was like, yo, fix it, whatever. And then he showed me where I went wrong at, and he was like, yo, you want to cut hair? He was like, cause this ain't that bad. I was like, oh, all right, you know. And from then on, it was on and popping. So it was actually my little brother who got me started cutting hair, like just
entrepreneurship at its finest.
Yeah, it was crazy. Never know it's gonna be like this.
That's crazy because a lot of times, people go places and get things out of necessity, meaning like. Employment, you know,
right.
Most of the time motherfuckers need a check, right? For the most part, I need food, I need to eat, I need money.
Right.
What can I do to get that? Where yours is born out of just pure, almost like love because you did it for the love of your brother. Like, nah, I'm gonna make sure you're good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then from that love poured over to, nah, you your man showed you something, love, like he showed out of love, like, nah, this is what you do, and you just took to that like.
Yeah.
You liked it. You fell in love with it. Yeah. So that
so it's like drug dealer money now. You know what I'm saying?
And it's good money. I know it's good money. I always
slide you that money real quick. Right? Okay.
And you see it right there.
Yeah. Go right to the pocket, straight. That's a good thing.
No doubt. So how long have you been on barbering for?
Now it's been
time
this year. Now it's gonna be 31 years.
Damn. And he's nice as you can see. And this is quick work. This maybe like 20 minutes. I despise going to the barbershop, standing in the chair for 45 minutes. There's no reason I should be in the chair for 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, let me get this all on. And you good?
We in the shop. You see that? That's live. We in the shop.
Trying to get a cut.
It's late. They see me like, yo, they trying to get in. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that goes to, you know, pretty much what I'm saying. Like, the guy's, he's nice, you know what I'm saying? But I hate going to the barbershop, staying there 45 minutes, an hour. I don't think it's really no reason. So if you know your shit in and out. And for me, I'm thinking, as a hustler, it defeats the purpose. Because you guys sit in the chair or sit on the motherfucker for an hour, that's taken away from you. How many motherfuckers you do a day? You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I done work with a few slow people, and I cut my average to the slow barbers that's a lot out there. I'm 4-to-1. At least 3.5 to 1.
That's crazy.
So by the time I'm on my 4th customer, I might just be starting or halfway in the middle. They just finishing that one.
Wow. And you show. You know, this is why I come. I don't come just because you're my man. I come because I really fucks with you. I know I'm gonna be nice. You know what I'm saying? But okay, from the barbering, let's talk about how did you get into not the street life, but you know, you made a couple of decisions that landed you where it landed you. You know what I'm saying? So you, like I said, we're gonna jump around a little bit.
No,
let the people know who you are. You know.
Yeah. Well,
some things about you.
It was, you know, being a Sugar Hill, so, you know, I had that flow, you know, and the coke was going and it was crazy in the crowd, and I knew everybody named Mama, so, you know, that started opening doors for me to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And it's crazy because I actually got incarcerated for a robbery, something that wasn't even my thing, that's not my MO. But at the time I was married, so I had bills for my house. I had a home in Connecticut, so I had that pressure of that. My wife was on my back. Like, our relationship was at its peak for like about 4 straight downhill, you know. So I had that going on. Then I had bumped into some people from the streets or whatever, and you know, they was in my ear. You know, they looking to come up, and I was like, yo, okay, like, I gotta do something, you know. So you know, I started putting something together, but it was like it just happened too fast. So not to say that, okay, I should have got away with it, but it would have been nice. But I didn't. So, you know, like I said, just speeding, you know. So I jumped out there, and you know, we did a quick little robbery, whatever, and it landed me on the run for like 4 or 5 months, you know. And then finally it all caught up with me, and it was crazy how they did, because they could never really find me. Nobody ever knows where the hell I'm at.
Right.
So the thing was, I had to go to child support. I went down there, so now they got my name in the system. So I guess, you know, they found me through that, and they were just waiting for me. After I saw the judge and everything, about to walk out, it was like, Mr. Smith. I was like, that be me. It was like,
that baby daddy.
Yeah.
I'll be that pappy.
It was like, you know what this is about. I know. I just turned around, put my hands behind my back, and I walked out. I gave, you know, everything out of my pocket. Gave my daughter's mother. I was like, you know, get out to my daughter or whatever, and I see you when I see you. You know? So I knew I was facing at least 10 years, because they kept hitting me with that. You're going to do 10 years. You're going to do 10 years.
Right.
Whatever. So like, they gave me the 10. I only had to do 4. So you know, it was what it was.
Connecticut is a little different.
Yeah. They played a hard game, like, and it was bad because he, like, my co-defendant, he was an older dude, and he didn't realize he did time previously. And he didn't realize that times changed, and Connecticut was just different. It's Commonwealth. So the thing was, they started splitting us up. You go one day, he gonna go the next.
Once I already know about that.
They played that game. But now, because we from New York, you got the brothers up there. Oh man, you know your man must be talking, right? Well, why y'all ain't go to court together, son?
Why they split y'all?
Well, I'm telling you, man. Yo, I think he talking. And then I'm always writing, because I was doing the book. I think you doing something. So now they in this dude's ear. So what he wound up doing was, he took paperwork or whatever on the affidavit. He started blacking out certain stuff, whatever. So now when you read it, it make it look like I'm trying to cut a side deal or something, or I'm telling on him, when that conversation not even me, that was somebody else talking.
Wow.
He did the wild shit, whatever. So, you know, it was a lot in there. Like, when I first got in there, like, people didn't really know. Like, it came to a point where I had to fight for my life, because it was at stake. Because you know, on some real, they had a hit on me in prison.
Wow.
You know, so they was like, yo, they owe some bloods, they coming for you, whatever. So I was like, I mean, I'm not scared because we in jail.
Right.
You know, my worst fear was always getting shot. But ain't no guns in here, we straight. I'm gonna get stabbed. If I get stabbed, you definitely get stabbed too.
You gotta get that close to me.
It's going down, so bring it. So now I'm like, whatever. So I had to talk to, you know, one of the homies that was in, one of the big homies was there, and you know, he was running the whole dorm and everything. And one night, he sent the chairman down to me. They was like, yo, slide your paperwork. So I was like, all right. So I slid all my paperwork. The next day when I came out, he was like, yo, nah, homie. He was like, yo, you good. So what he did was he passed down his drops. Like, you know, anybody who's up under him, like, you know,
don't touch him.
Yo, he was like, yo, if you need them, or just all you gotta do is give them the word. I already spoke to them. You know, so I was like, okay, so it's official. So now I got an army under me now. I'm straight.
Nice.
And I'm the barber. Now who gonna touch me?
Barbers are always official.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But the thing was, back home in the hill, you know,
because
it got crazy.
Your name is already mud.
Right, and I'm trying to tell him like, nah, and not for nothing. Like when I came home, I think that's what bothered me the most because nobody really found out what was really going on. But then at the same time, it showed how much haters I really had. Because the brothers who knew me, they was like, that's not happening. Whatever you talking about, I want to hear it.
I know.
They was curving niggas on that.
That ain't his type.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. So now, you know, I'm just all right with them, but it was like for some reason I wanted to talk to the other niggas and like justify or tell them like, yo, like, nah, this is not what happened. Yo, this is what happened. Like I was like plead my case, but I'm like, there's no need for that because at the end of the day, them niggas never did like me. So this was like an excuse they used.
Now they got
yeah, exactly. But you know, I was like, yo, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, my co-defendant, he when he finally saw all the paperwork, you know, he sent an apology. He was like, yo, I apologize because he was like, yo, you wasn't trying to do me dirty enough. I was like, nah, my nigga, like I could have turned you in from Jump Street.
Right.
Like nigga, I told you, we gonna do time. Let's do it. Like I'm in here. What I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna cry about this shit, my nigga. Let's do it.
And I did the crime, so fuck
yeah, like come on, my nigga. Like especially when they gave me light, cause first the nigga said 10 years. Then they said, okay, if you go to trial, it was like, yo, you looking at 30 years. I said, but wait, I ain't even killed nobody. Like, that niggas is crazy.
That's crazy.
But that's Connecticut, you know, so they play different.
They just pull numbers out the hat.
Yeah, they
show us.
Yeah. But I'm going to tell you the worst part. And this is the part that when I knew, like, shit was, like, it was real serious. When I took it to trial, so you know you got to pump fake.
Right.
So you got to go to trial for the first week. And do the jury trial, and then right when they get ready to say, is this all right? We got the jury. Like you ready? Like okay, this our final offer. You want to take it? Boom. That's when you negotiate on that offer.
Right.
So they had a piece of paper. My lawyer had a paper on the thing. I had a public defender, but I didn't anyway. And I'm looking at the paper. I see my name once I did one of those. I'm sliding and reading. That was like Mr. Smith walked in holding a handgun, this, that. I said, wow. I walked in. I said, whoa. I was the driver. How y'all put a gun in my hand?
I wasn't even
like,
building.
so it was like they gave a whole story of me doing the actual robbery. That was for the juror. So I said, why y'all giving them that? He said, oh, no. That, we supposed to do that. Don't worry about that. What you mean don't worry about that? Yo, when I saw that, I said, yeah, hurry up, let's cut this deal. Because y'all about to hang me. But this is something that they do. They'll type up some official paperwork, put your name on everything, underneath they'll slide in and be like, oh, that's what it is. Because their conviction rate is right next to the feds. They got a 98% conviction. And that's the state. The state should never have a 98. The feds got the state under investigation.
Because they shit too high.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So, you know, so I say this weird, but like I said, you know, it was a good thing that all that happened, like to this day, because like I said, it showed me who my real friends is
and who the people I need. What was some of the pros and cons? Because prison for anybody, no matter where you at,
right,
it's not light. I tell a motherfucker all the time, I won't wish prison on my wife's boyfriend.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So let that resonate.
Yeah,
I wouldn't wish prison on my wife's boyfriend.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
I tell dudes that all the time. Like, you know, people, they be out here, they be fronting. Like, yeah, I was doing that. Nah, usually they crying, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because I give my word everything I love. I cried one time. I mean, I cried like a baby. I walked, and it's like, it just all hit me. I walked in the cell, my cellie was out, and that shit just hit me like, you stupid ass thing, like, you in prison, like, and you about to do time. And I was like, I can't see my family, my kids, I can't do nothing. And it emotionally, it wrecked me for that 1 minute. I cried for about maybe 10 minutes, like the boo-hoo, like my mama just beat the dog mess out of me. And after that, I just wiped it and I was like, all right, nigga, like, now handle this. Now let's go.
Yeah,
and from then on, I locked in. Then at that moment, I became an inmate.
I'm gonna ask you, what was the transition mentally, once you was in, after the cry, okay, now you locked in, I say, what was the transition where it was like, I have something else when I get home. I can't be the same person. Mentally, mindset changed, and like, okay, you was writing already, but when you really took responsibility for what you did and say, okay, this is not gonna define me when I go home.
Well, also, so it was at that moment, so that's right after that I got another cellie. And he had some family members sent him the books. So that's when I started reading.
Okay.
So when I started reading, that's when I started saying like, yo, I could do some of this. So what I started doing was I was writing like short little stories. And it was like, because I didn't have no TV, so I would write like a little story almost like if it was a TV show. So I was writing TV shows. And I would just read it and like I would just like vision it in my head or whatever. So I started doing that. So that was like a game that I played. Like, oh, you know what? I want to see this. I want to see a new episode. Then I'll write something, like, you know what I'm saying? But then after that, after all the reading, that's when I was like, you know what? I can do this or whatever. Like I said, I started the film because I figured, I said, okay, I was filming the joint before I got locked. So I said, okay, when I go home, I can finish that joint, and then this will be part 2. You see what I'm saying? So I was just going to do the little film thing and keep going, but it went from film to book writing, and it was good because all that pain that I had in me, like the phone calls I was getting, the few letters, I put all that inside the book and just threw it out there.
Let's talk about pain. What was one of the most difficult parts in there, like dealing with like a Dear John letter or a family member passing? You know, like what was that moment, or one of the moments where it's like, fuck, gut wrenching? Because I want people to understand, from my standpoint, I always tell my story. What hurt me, like I cried more than a couple of times. I didn't have a nervous breakdown. But I want people to understand, like you said, people like, yeah, I did, niggas. The old saying, like, oh, I do this shit on my head, like the time, like, nah, y'all niggas is lying to these people out here, these youngins and shit, like, this shit ain't sweet. You know what I'm saying? So I want you, if you can, to elaborate on a piece of pain that you went through that was like, fuck, and you can't do nothing that
okay, that's when I had reached out to my wife at the time. Mm-hmm. And you know, I'm doing the collect call thing, and I'm calling, and I'm asking like, yo, can you send me some money, whatever? She's like, oh, I'm gonna send it, yo, but she just spinning all around. Oh yeah, I've been sending this on your books, but then when I'm checking, there's nothing there. Then you know, I go back to call again. Now I can't get through.
Wow.
So it was like I just felt her like just leaving, you know. So I was like, damn, like even though we wasn't at the best terms, like at that moment, I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, but damn, you still my wife, like I need you now, like don't do this to me. And when she did that, it was just like, you know what? I was like, man, fuck everybody, man, like it's on and popping, like I don't care, man. I will hold a lot of stuff in because I would see like the younger guys in there. One of the dudes, he was committing suicide. You know what I'm saying? He had the sheet wrapped all around the joint. They had, pressed a little button or whatever. They had to come get him. It was like, it was just too much. And I didn't want to go that route. I was like, I'm not killing myself. I said, I'm going to find something to do with my pain. I said, but I'm not going to do it. But And that was it. Like just like my wife just abandoned me, and then there was another young lady that I was dealing with, and I known her all my life, and I thought that if anybody, I thought I definitely could count on her.
Right.
And even after a few months in, her phone never became just ring, 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 ring. It was, it wasn't ever. So I was like, you know what? I'm by myself. Like this is some real shit.
And that's the point. You hit that hit the nail on the head. You're alone. You're by yourself, and that's what I want people to understand about prison. I do my prison reform thing,
right,
advocate thing, but I want people to understand that you could be out here, 100 people, 100 deep. When you in there, and them cuffs going, you in that cell, you by yourself.
Yeah.
It was a terminology I had told somebody. I think it might be in the book. But I said, it's crazy to feel surrounded by 1,200 people, because the jail I was in, prison, 1,200 people max, and feel alone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, surrounded, you around 1,200 motherfuckers, but you still feel alone. Like, that's some shit that'll get to, that'll eat at you. You know what I'm saying? So let's move on. Let's get off that. I thank you. I appreciate that moment that you shared with us. So now that you get home, how long you been home?
Actually, January 25th made 3 years.
All right. So in 3 years, what kind of progress have you made? Because I know we're gonna talk about the books, right? You know what I'm saying? Talk about your guest spots on TV. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into all that. So you've been home 3 years. What was your mission when you came home? Did you have a plan? Like, okay, this is what I want to do, the ABC, the 1, 2, 3 steps, or did you just come home like, you know what, I'm gonna figure it out?
Nah, actually, the plan was I started in the halfway house. I'm hooked up with like my mentor, Larry. His name is Larry Floyd, and once I got in contact with him, I was like, I let him know. I was like, because he's an actor, script reviser. He's in the industry. Like he does his thing. So when I told him I've been writing, he was like, okay, he had an idea for a project. He was like, yo, let's start writing. So we literally would write and we'd be on the phone every day, and I built the script and I wrote a joint called Get Love, which is on YouTube. And that was supposed to be, it's a pilot. It's supposed to be for a whole series, whatever. So like my mission when I got out was, when I touched back down here anyway, because I did the halfway house in Connecticut, was to get that out. So I had, I hollered at a few people, whatever, my brother, his best friend, one of my childhood friends, whatever, everybody got together, they raised some money for me, and I was able to put the project together. So like that put me back in the seat of, just doing what I want to do.
Nice. And you always had your barber skills. That's a skill, that's a trade. I always tell people, get a trade. Like, school ain't for everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Barbering, CDL license, carpentry, all of these things,
So with your hands, gotta have hands on.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. So how did you get into, because I know you was on you was on the episode, you was on TV. Let the people know, because I don't want to fuck that up. You know what I'm saying? I had a couple little next show, you know what I'm saying? We want to make sure we get this man's story out, and y'all understand, like, he's grinding, man. He's positive. He did his time. He paid his debt, and he out here. He doing the right thing.
Yeah. Well, the first. So what was it? The first. All right, I did Power. I think it was season 6. I was doing a little background, and that was like something real special, because I was like, wow, like I'm on Power, and I never even watched Power. That was a crazy thing. So, so that was like yo, Power, oh wow, everybody talking about it. I'm like, okay, now I'm on it. But that one was cool. I got to meet a few people. But the one that really got me was Elementary. TV shows to come on. So now,
that was my joint. I watched that too.
Right now, when I got on that one, I was only home for a month. So the thing was that was my TV show when I was in jail.
Wow.
I watched that every Saturday. So when I'm sitting there now, I'm on set, and the little Lucy Lou, whatever, the little trainee, she came out, and I'm looking at her, and my man Watson, he come on stage, and I'm looking, and I was like, wow, I'm like, yo, I just was on a bunk a few months ago watching y'all. Now I'm here, like, I was like, yo, this is crazy, and that did it for me. So when I did elementary, that took me to a whole other level. I did a show FBI, but just a background on that. I was on another show, the Good Fight. That was actually my first real cameo appearance where you could actually see me. You be like, oh, well, I know him right there. That's my man right there. Right. And it was crazy because I was in the house watching TV. I wasn't even watching that or didn't even know what channel it came on. And my boy called me and was like, yo, I just saw you on TV. You saw me on what? Because now I've been on a few things, so I'm like, okay, where they caught me at? Let me know something. So he told me, so I said, okay. So I did that. Then I was on Ray Donovan like 4 times.
That was the shit.
Yeah, so I was like when he got to the Fight Club, so I got a few good shots in there where like people saw me and that, whatever. So it was good, but the thing with that was I didn't even start doing that to be an actor.
Right.
Like I said, my mentor, he told me to do it because it'd be a good thing to do, but it was a learning experience. He said, you want to film, you want to be a director. He said, well, then you need to be on the set. You need to be around real directors.
You see what's happening.
Exactly. So now I'm learning the signs, the calls, how they call stuff, how they position the cameras, the light. I'm just learning all this. So I'm like, wow, that's what they're doing. So I'm there listening to what they tell me to do, but I'm watching what they're doing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I learned a whole lot. And that was like the best thing out of it. Then after that, I went to film school, like I did for editing and everything. So it's been something.
Dope, man. Motivation and inspiration, man. This is what we here for, man. Motivation and inspiration, man. So now that you here, you hit the ground running. I salute you.
Thank you.
Talk about the 2 books just in case they missed it. You know what I'm saying? They might be just tuning in.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? You got 2 books, author of 2 books. Let them know the name of it.
Okay, well, the first book is called The Family, Loyalty is Everything. It's available on Amazon. And then the second book was just released. I released that one like 2 days after my birthday, December 12th. And that's called The Family, Rise of a Queen. That's part 2. And I'm currently working on the 3rd one. So
keep a lookout. Make sure y'all cop that, man.
Yeah,
we gonna put the link in the description, you know what I'm saying? On YouTube. You watch this on YouTube, it's gonna be in the description. If you're watching on Roku, we gonna give you the name and the title right now. There you go. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you support the brother, man.
Appreciate it.
So now let's bring it into some current events. Being an ex-con, right? Somebody with a felony. What do you think about, or where do you think we need most help or assistance coming home, re-entry, in your opinion?
Well, I think the first thing they need to do is like, when you come home, it's all right, job establishment, that's something good, and housing. I think housing is very important because you take somebody, we just have free housing, basically. Now you come home, if you parole to somebody, you forced to stay with somebody, and it might be somebody that you don't get along with. But that's the only address you can get. So now you're stuck there. But if we come home and we have these programs where they be like, okay, listen, this whole building is dedicated to ex-cons. There's people coming home from jail. Like, boom, go get your 1 bedroom right in there.
Right.
Get yourself together. You can stay there as long as you want, but if you want to move out, so be it. But we got a place for you to stay. Just like when you come out, you find a halfway house to throw us in. After the halfway house, you say, okay, boom, that's 1 step. Here goes step 2. Boom, here's an apartment. Here's a 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom. You got a roommate because we've been roommates with somebody for years. So that don't mean nothing now, But it's like that's something that they really need to look into. Is like placing a person and getting a person to get back into society. Because even as I came home, getting to society is like I'm here, but now everybody running around me like
you're invisible for the most part.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And then sometimes it takes you a minute to even realize that you're home. Because now this got to be the dumbest thing in the world. At least I experienced it. So now all the time I was incarcerated, I always had that dream that I'm free. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I'm in the dream. I got let loose. I'm good. I'm living my life. Then I wake up on the count. Child. Damn it, I'm still in jail. But now I'm home. I got the dreams. I'm still locked up.
Damn.
So now I wake up, especially if I'm laying on my back, I wake up and I look up at the ceiling. I don't know where I'm at. It's like I'm waiting to hear them say count or something. I won't move. Damn. And then it's like I'm scared to look left or right because I'm like, what if I'm locked up again? Like, don't do this to me. But then when I, then it kicks in like, nah, nigga, you home. Like, it's safe. You can look. Then I turn. I'm like, okay.
That's that PTSD. So with that, do you think that's powerful right there? Because for me, I have my own traumas. Like, it took me a minute to take a shower without flip flops when I came home. That's a good new flip flops.
I still take my own.
See, you know what I'm saying? The chick that I was dealing with, like, yo, like homie, like, and the chick I was dealing with at the time, she was kind of, hood.
Yeah.
She like, your homie, like, come on, B, like, you home. I'm like, yo, this is a habit. Like, I'm fucking in there. I'm spraying down. I'm bleaching the tub.
Yeah.
She like, you home, like, you don't gotta worry about none of that. You know what I'm saying? But nah, it's real trauma. You know what I'm saying?
So still got my shower shoes.
So that just makes to my point that prison is, you can survive it physically, but mentally, we still fight every day. You know what I'm saying? So
like I had to tell when I first came out too. I was I stayed with a few people in there, but then I stayed with my son's mother for a minute, and I told her, I was like, I think one time she tried to like wake me up in the middle of the night, and I was about to tear her out the frame. So I told her, I was like, yo, like, if you sleep, don't touch me. Mm-hmm. So she literally had to sleep on one side of the bed, and I sleep on her. And to this day, whatever, I sleep on one side in the corner. I just, like if I'm on that little single cot, like if I turn over and fall on the floor,
right.
Like my body, I'm just stuck right there. Yeah, like, don't touch me. Because it could be on and popping. I don't want nothing to happen to nobody, but it's crazy that, and they don't be realizing that, like, and the crazy thing is, T-Bone is a character that I had, but it was like a nickname too, like, that was from the streets before, but it's like, that's what got me through everything. I just had to, I couldn't live as myself. I had to just switch up. I had to just go into character mode. It was like, I went crazy.
Nah, I'm glad you said that, and we gonna wrap it up. In the book, in my book, I wrote, and I still feel that way. That's how I felt, that
right.
You have to lose part of your sanity to remain sane.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Nah, it do.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to lose part of your sanity to remain sane in prison. I'm gonna leave that there. Hopefully y'all will get my book, Moments, Writing Thoughts and Letters of a Two-Time Felon. You understand? But also, like I said, support the brother. With that, before we get out of here, we're gonna leave on a high note, on a light note. You know what I'm saying? Right. So after all your trials, your tribulations, your troubles, everything, you at a place where you call success. Where is your fantasy spot? Like, where's your I'm good here?
Well, that's the spot I'm working on, and for me, I believe real strong. It's Atlanta, ATL.
Yeah.
I believe that's it for me. I like Cali. I got a few people that's out there, and they was like, no, come out here, you're gonna love it. But I don't know. For me, it's my success and everything. It's like the house in Atlanta with the Bentley parked out for. I'm good. That's it. I made it.
Nice.
I'm happy.
Hey, man. Yo, we appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
And I know for a fact that you're on your way to that house, that Bentley in Atlanta, man.
Need that.
Without a doubt, I know you there. Just make sure you invite me down. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. You got to have a cookout.
You know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, man, we appreciate you. Thank you again. No let the people know where to follow you at. Where to holler at you on social media and all that stuff.
Okay. Well, on Facebook, I'm Lord Matrixx, but you can follow me on Instagram as Lord Matrixx again, and 17 Kings Entertainment. That's my own little company for my film and book and everything, So you can just follow me on that. Other than that, I'll catch you in the hood.
You already, man. Moments with D.HOP featuring my guy J.L. Jones, aka Matrixx, man.
J.L. Smith.
J.L. Smith. I don't know why I said. Oh, you know what's crazy though? My little, anyway. J.L. Smith, Matrixx, man. With that said, man, we appreciate you watching. Appreciate you tuning in. Tell a friend and tell a friend, man. We do this all the time, man.
That's right.
Cheers, man. Appreciate you.
You already know.